proactive. Instead of going all over the place, we focused on some things where we have natural strengths. You have, in the industry of clean technology and sustainability with UC Davis and your own work, some amazing strengths to build on as well. I believe that, so not only does our climate action plan state that we're going to be the most sustainable city in the world, but our economic development plan says that as well. And part of being a living laboratory is to not just do good by the environment, but to do good by the historic and unfortunately chronic social inequities in the city of Portland and in other cities as well around the region, and also to improve the economic strength of our city. All of that at the same time might seem like an overwhelming goal, but it really isn't. Because a lot of the stuff that you will want to do in your climate action plan is the kind of stuff, if you're a smart business investor, you should be doing anyway. If you want to bank on stable power supplies and you want to bank on the current cost of energy for your 10 or 20-year business plan, great, good luck with that. But it probably is an unwise assumption for your business plan, just as it is an unwise assumption for a city or a region's economic development strategy. The challenge has been financing. And this is where I raise my example of motorcycles, powerboats, recreational vehicles, and today I'll throw in washer dryers. You can go to a financial institution, you can go to a retailer and get financed those items, even today, if you have really good credit, even today. But go out and try to get financed clean technology retrofit of your home, of your business, or your manufacturing facility. Try to do that. Not based on your equity, not based on the amount of the goodwill of your business, but just a standalone financing product like you can get for powerboats and motorcycles and cars and washer and dryers. It has not existed. So one of the first things that we worked on was convincing investors that they could make really good money at clean technology retrofits. And you're going to hear from someone later who was our national partner in that. Phaedra at Green for All not only helped us by making sure we had the best thinking on the triple bottom line, which was important to us, the best thinking from the rest of the world, but that best thinking was also being whispered into the ears of federal officials so that the programs that came out were actually useful to local governments. So we started Clean Energy Works Portland. We put in $2.4 million, mostly of our own money, and then competed for another 20, which we received. And we now have a standalone nonprofit that utilizes the best technology to do the clean technology retrofits, starting with homes, and it now has gone statewide. We basically created a nonprofit with our stimulus money and some of our own money. It is putting to work folks that have been historically shut out of even the best times in Portland. And over half the people, about 60% of the people that are working for Clean Energy Works now are people of color. And in my city, we have a big, big problem with disparity, economic disparity between the white population and everybody else. So that's an example of a business-like approach. We hire local contractors. We're helping to create new local contractors. We're using local suppliers, and we're knitting together this new industry. And you better get yours organized, because I'm going to bring my contractors down here and start doing your homes if you don't do them. We knew at about this point that the way that city government had been organized was not adequate. We had an Office of Sustainable Development, and it worked on everything from sort of sustainable food policy, all the way down to recycling. And then we had our long-term planning bureau as well, the Bureau of Planning. We merged them. we decided that every bit of the city's decision-making DNA had to grapple with the opportunities and challenges. And so now it's the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability. And no one gets through the decision-making process without our strategies in this area being part of the thinking, being part of the screen, being part of how can our clean tech and sustainability work contribute to these other goals? Because it isn't just one way, it's got to be two ways. We have a long ways to go. We're very much a work in progress. Where we're going next is building on our transportation innovations that actually predate our CO2 our CO2 reduction plan, which was 1993. That's what it was called then. In the city of Portland, we have a long tradition in the state of Oregon of doing that transportation, long-range planning, and zoning together. We have a green dividend in the city of Portland. CEOs for Cities did an analysis of cities and found that in the city of Portland, because we invest in smart transportation choices, not alternative transportation choices, but smart transportation choices, which means automobile, which means bus, which means streetcar and light rail like yours, which means bikes and walking. We drive 20% less. And because we don't have oil wells in Portland, do you have oil wells in the city of Sacramento? No? Do you manufacture cars in the city of Sacramento? Okay, well then you're in a similar place that I am. Because we don't manufacture those things, every dollar spent on the car, most of it leaves the city. And by driving 20% less, that saves about $2.6 billion in household savings. Household savings, not just city government savings. And when you net it all out, it's about $800 million based on 05 numbers. That stays in the city's local economy, and you all know about the multiplier effect of dollars staying in the local economy. It stays in the local economy because we just make sure that things go together and that we invest in the reality and safety in bicycling. We have the highest bicycle usage in terms of percent of trips of any large city in the United States. I'm bitter at Davis, California. Again, slightly bitter, conflicted up here. There's the highest ranking you can get is platinum. And we were going for it and going for it. We wanted to get it ranked platinum, and the first year, Davis got it. And everybody knows they cheated. But we got it the next year. We got it the next year. And there's always the push-pull on transportation issues. The public is really passionate about law enforcement and police, and they're really passionate about transportation. But if you can live through that natural human pushback and fear and reaction to change around what happens within the corridors of your city, you have much better weather than we do. You have a flatter city than we do. And the more people that you can get to use their bikes and walks, the more of a green dividend that you will have. Finally, looking ahead. How am I doing on time? Am I over? Am I good? A lot of what we've done, like a lot of what cities do, and what you're trying to accomplish here, and I'm trying to accomplish as well, and that is to tie it together, to make sure that the sum, that the whole and the sum are much stronger than the individual parts. So we've embarked on a 25-year strategic plan for the city. We know that we're 146 square miles, or about 600,000 people. We've got about 60,000 people that don't live in the city but work there, and about 40,000 that live in the city but don't work in the city. Government spends about $9.7 billion every year in the 146 square miles that is the city of Portland. And we're now embarked on a strategic plan, again, looking to infuse sustainability, the triple bottom line sustainability, in all aspects. And that's where we're headed next, to weave together all the good work and to acknowledge the scar tissue and the mistakes and the continuing challenges, and we've got plenty of them, but to really weave that together as you're trying to do here with Greenwise to take it to the next level of accountability, of inspiration, action, and results. I'm really impressed with what you've started here, and you have amazing potential to leap forward and to do so in a way that strengthens your economy. You've got lots of partners that can help you sort of finance the way. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you, and I look forward to the panel discussion. Thank you.
All right, it's now my honor to introduce, again, we already referenced him, the hippest, coolest mayor in the state of California. He's the 55th mayor of Sacramento. He's the first hometown mayor, and proud mom is in the back, as always, at our Greenwise meetings, Mother Rose back there. In May, he launched the event here, Greenwise Initiative, and I think he honestly believed that green was the right thing to do. I think we've convinced him that green is absolutely the transformational thing to do. So he's joined those of us who have lived and breathed this. I think another thing that I've learned along the way is to be very respectful of something that Mayor Adams said, and that is social justice. Take care of the least among us, and this is one of those transformational ways to do just that. He, in a number of ways, is making Sacramento a great city. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Kevin Johnson.
All right, how's everybody doing? Great. We want to thank everyone for coming out. This is exciting for our community for a host of reasons. We started this initiative back in May 18th, 8 months ago, and we made a great deal of progress because many of you have already been doing this great work. And we got together and we convened and we coordinated, we leveraged, we aligned what we were doing, and now I think we're on the edge of doing something really, really powerful. So again, I just want to thank Chancellor Katehi first. Let's give her a round of applause for her leadership. I usually poke fun at her because she has 16 patents. Yeah, like 16 patents, 17 patents. One would be enough, you know, to make it into some sort of Hall of Fame, but 16 and now 17. What you've done, really, Chancellor, is really lift the bar for what's going to happen at UC Davis. There's been many chancellors before you. They've laid a great foundation, but I think you've lifted the bar and the expectation for all of us. And I just appreciate your connecting UC Davis with the Sacramento region. I think together we can be great partners. So again, thank you. I want to thank, we have a host of elected officials. If you wouldn't mind, all the work that businesses and nonprofits, we talk public, private, but if we don't get our elected officials on board and to play a real role, it will not make a difference. So I know we have some elected officials. If you wouldn't mind standing really quickly, elected officials. Let's give our elected officials a round of applause. Got all of our counties represented over there. How you doing, Councilmember Cohn? Good. I want to also briefly thank Mayor Adams from Portland. On this stage, I had my first debate when I was running for mayor, and they asked these really quick, what do you call them, like really quick questions? Rapid, they don't call it rapid. Lightning round. And they asked me, they went to each, there were like 6 candidates, and the first person said, when they said, what city do you think Sacramento most reminds you of? Portland. The second one said Portland. The third one said Portland. Fourth one said Portland. Fifth one said Portland. I'm like, Phoenix. So with that said, if you cannot beat them, you got to figure out a way to join them. So what I do not want to have happen is you folks going to live in Portland. So I brought him to Sacramento so we can learn some of the best ways. And in all honesty, Portland is doing significant things, not only in green, but when it comes to art, everything that Portland is doing is really a model for all of us. So I've been asking Mayor Adams for a couple years to come to Sacramento. He and I serve on the education task force together for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. He was one of the mayors early on when I was running for office that I went up and sat down with him. I think you had got elected but not taken office quite yet. But he came today to our community and shared a little bit. So let's give another round of applause to Mayor Adams. So, you know, we're